everyone, my name is Sherry Soltani and welcome to Skyrise Media Society. Today we are at the Immigrant Link Center Society. ILCS is a place that cares for and provides nutritious food to people in need, including low-income families, immigrants, refugees, and homeless individuals in British Columbia. Their motto is, "Food is life, don't waste life." We're happy today that we are with Igor. Hi.
Hello.
Tell us a little bit about the Immigrant Link Center Society.
All right. So once upon a time, imagine that a small group of immigrants meeting in an English school, not learning only the language, we also learn about the Canadian values. We feel so good and so nice that we wanted to contribute and give it a little bit to local community. So we learn about the food waste, and we understand that a mountain of the food is ending on a landfill. We put sleeves up, we dig in immediately and start to preventing to be thrown day old, close to best before, or with some imperfection. We collected from the big grocery stores such Save on Food and deliver in the same day to people who are in need. Firstly, we worked only in our school with 20 families. And I will share two beneficial stories which really made impact on our heart. So the first one, after just 1 month, a woman approached us and told us, "I'm praying to God every day because I have a decent food on my table." And we know that one because we were difference between us and the food banks in that time is that we are providing fresh nutrition food. So we know how much is that important for the people to feed themselves healthy and to have the decent life. So, but another one, she told us that she saved enough money to buy new shoes for her daughter. So we didn't think about the economic component, about circular economy. So when you are making some product, you need to put the energy, time, money, resources, and everything will be thrown. So when we prevent that and we save that and give to the people, they can actually save the money and help themselves more.
What is your position right now at ILCS?
Well, I'm charity director.
You're a charity director.
Right.
Perfect. Now, how many families and homeless individuals you guys serve during the, daily?
Right. So when we started, it was just 20 families and we work one day, but we feel so good with that feedback. So very, and in the first year we work as a non-formal group. That was Rayhane, that was Young, that was Snezhana, that was Ali, that was Bassem. But now, fast forward 8 years later, we are feeding over 3,500 people with the help of more than 175 volunteers. We have more than 21, 22 distribution places, and we are working currently in 11 cities.
Wow, 11 cities in
Lower Mainland.
Lower Mainland.
Right, and we are preventing over 1 million kilogram of food to be ended on a landfill. Equivalent is 1,800,000 kilogram of CO2. So that's the third component, so I told about nutrition component, I talk about economic component, but the third component is super important, and that's to reduce pollution on our beloved planet.
Yes.
So when food is ending on a landfill, producing methane, and it's 25 times worse than carbon dioxide. So now we are, with this action, not just feeding people, not just economically helping them, we are also preventing pollution for our beloved planet.
That's what you have, helping the environment to be a better place too.
Exactly.
Perfect. Now, do you have any challenges in BC when you are actually working?
Well, 8 years ago, not too many people work with food waste. Somehow it was a stigma around, and many people was afraid it will something happen, but actually nothing happened because that food, which is day old, tomorrow again is good. The best before is nothing else except the company saying the taste will be perfect until that day. So all of that, when you think rationally, nothing is wrong with that food, and in 8 years we never had any problem with the food or with our beneficiaries that someone is complaining that something happened.
You talked about one of the sources that you get food from, which Save On. Is any other sources that you guys collect in food and to be able to distribute to people in need?
Right now we are working with many other food stores, like a Palm Natural Market or Thrifty or Thrifty Foods or IGA and others. And also we are working with the food producers. And now we are coming to a second step with the help of the city of Coquitlam. And we would like to turn the city of Coquitlam as the first zero food waste city. And we are calling all companies or any food producers, or it can be cafes or it can hotels, anyone who is dealing with the food, to stop the nonsense, to throw the food and to give to the people. So we have also a second step, which will be we are start to collecting animal edible, so we are supporting farms. And our third step, I hope next year, will be to non-edible, also preventing to end on the landfill and start to creating a compost. So to make the full circle and to end it as less as possible food on a landfill.
In that way you're helping the economic
Yes.
BC as well.
So imagine in Canada we are throwing $50 billion per year. So in terms that with that food we can feed all Canadians 6 months. So really we can make a big impact with preventing food waste.
Igor, do you have any experience or story that you could share with us in past 8 years that has actually impacted you?
So for me, personally, every day is impact. Every day is a personal story. Whenever we are going as a team and delivering the food, people who need that, they're saying, "Oh, the Christmas came early today."
Aww.
So that's the thing which someone is literally throwing the love on you. You know? So how,
it makes you feel good about yourself, exactly.
Well, about myself, not too much, but as a part of the group, yes. I love it how we are able to turn something which was waste to something which is very helpful for the people.
You're talking about the group. How many volunteers do you have currently, and how individuals can, reach you to if anybody wants to help out?
Right. So currently, in a steady formation, we have around 175, but in a total of more than 350 who are joining us and coming. But they can reach us through our volunteer coordinator, Rehane, and they can just send an email on a website and said, "Hey, we are ready for volunteering work," and she will take the phone, make an action immediately, and reach you.
Okay, I think next time I have to interview Rehane about that.
Absolutely, she's amazing. You cannot imagine. She is able to pass the pedestrian street and to find volunteers only in that, 10 seconds.
Yes, yeah. Actually, I'm happy because I'm very thankful. She's the one who actually arranged this interview with you. Now, how many, if any low income, how do low income families and immigrants or refugees or individual, homeless people could get benefit from your services? How can they find you?
Usually it's from mouth to mouth. So that's the most common thing. So as I said, we have lots of distribution places and they are just recommending to their neighbors or to anyone who is in need. We have another stream through our social media or through our website. They can send a message and they said we are in need. Only thing which we are insisting is that you must be low income. So that's one of the requirements. Or if you're senior, then you are senior and we will not ask anything from you. You are more than welcome to be helped.
Have you had families or individuals come to you and bring food here directly, or do they have to take the food to Save On Food, IGA, and then you take it from there? So
how the whole operation is starting is in the morning, first group of volunteers coming and sitting in the trucks, and they're going around stores and picking up the food. After that, food it's coming to one of our distribution places where we have another group of volunteers who are passing through the nation, sorting everything and putting in individual boxes. When I said individual, we know exactly which family is behind our box, and we know if they're allergic, if they, from some belief, they don't want some of the food to be inside, so they cannot choose what it will be. They can choose what they don't want.
I see. But and then you make sure that those foods are very nutritious and they're very good to use, and then you investigate to make sure everything is good before you distribute.
So how that works, first level of checking is inside of the stores. So they are putting everything which is human edible on one side, which is animal edible on another side. So we are getting that human edible. After that, the next sorting is our volunteers, and we are putting in hampers. And after that, the beneficiaries, when they're coming, they are taking from those boxes, and everything that what they don't want or they don't know what it is, they are just putting on a side, and they're taking only what they want.
They want, exactly. Let's talk about someone that he committed and dedicated his life and became a hero from homelessness and addiction and helping you right now. Let's talk about Steve briefly before I invite Steve to talk to him.
Right. So for me, that was really, in my mind, one of the greatest story. So I'm coming to Ozada place, where one of our distribution places, and the guy, he's pumping out, jumping, full of energy, full of emotion. He was totally not aware with my role or anything. He just wants to talk how this is good program, and he's introducing actually the program to me. And I love it to listen the passion behind. I love it to listen about the program, and then down the road I'm learning his personal story. Now his personal story is very emotional, heavy. And I love it how he's ending all of that with a sentence that now is his time to give it back to community.
It's his time to glow, exactly.
Right.
And with your help, he achieved that, right?
Well, again, it's not about the one person.
I know, it's about
the group.
When I'm saying one, meaning the group.
What I want
you're sitting here.
Yes, thank you for that. But I'm always emphasizing, we are like Steve is the same part as me. Same. There is no difference between us. We are in the same position to try to be helpful, not only for us. And we are going out of me, myself, and I. We are trying to be helpful for community and to give the best of what life give to us or put in front of us.
Yeah. Igor, how do you finance and how do you get help?
That's the good question. So in the first couple of years, we mostly finance from our own pocket. But then we become recognized from authorities. So now we are getting support from the city, we are getting support from provincial and from the government. But we know it's not sustainable on the long term. If you want to run your charity successfully in many years, you must have your own stream of money. So in order to do that and to continue our good work, we created social enterprise named Soul Bite Food. And now we are producing plant-based comfort food and selling in a major grocery stores. And 50% of our revenue is going to charities who are fighting hunger and combating food waste.
And I saw that you got awarded as well.
Well, yes, one of them, I'm very proud. It's Premier People Choice.
Oh, wow.
Right, and Sustainability Award also. But I don't like to talk about awards. I'm more like a food soldier working on a field.
Well, awards is showing that you're doing something right.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Igor. I really do appreciate it. Last question, last and not least. Any messages you'd like to share to our audience? And if anyone wants to help, how can they help?
Well, if anyone wants to help, how it can help? So just think about humans as your family and try to be more helpful and to do the less harm. People can join us and help us as a volunteer, but also can find our food, award-winning food, and in that way, simple buying the food can help us to run the charity.
Well, thank you so much. I hope with our program, our audiences can reach out more to you. And if there is any volunteers wanted to join Igor and his team, they can actually come and join him. I really thank you for the opportunity that you gave us, and your program is excellent. And I hope everyone can watch this program and see how wonderful things you've been doing for the community.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Melody from Immigrant Link Center Society. We are here at Tapestry Monday Church, one of our distribution sites. We are a food rescue society. What it means we take surplus food from stores in our community, bring it to community centers, churches, some distribution sites, and then we make these hamper boxes customized for every single family, and they come here and they take it. These are mostly low-income families that are in need. They're not just immigrants. Everyone is welcome to come here and get food, and we make sure that they get everything in their box. They get vegetables, they get foods, they get proteins, eggs, milk, everything that is that they need to have nutritious meals to make at home. So our volunteers are working here, as you see. These volunteers some of them have been with us for years now. Our volunteers, I think there are 347 volunteers working for us on weekly basis, and they dedicated 18,000 of hours last year, and we did rescue more than 1 million kilograms of food, and we prevented that to go to the landfill. And as you can see, these are good food. Some of the items are even luxury items. You have to pay a lot for them at stores. I'm happy that these guys are doing this, showing what we're doing here. You can see that the foods, they're perishable, and that's one of the points, the difference between our job with some of other food banks that give away only mostly canned food or spaghetti, stuff like that.
I'm sitting here with Steve, someone who's actually dedicated his life, and from homelessness to addiction, he became a committed person, a committed community member. We'll say he became a hero. Hi, Steve.
Hi there. How are you?
Good, and how are you?
Good.
Thank you for coming to our show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you. Well, let's talk about your motivation. What has motivated you?
Wow. I've seen so much during my years. Many years ago, I was hurt in a work accident, and I went from there to homelessness, drug addiction, and I just saw so much misery out there that really shouldn't happen. You know, we live in a country where our country gives away billions of dollars, and we have homeless people living on our streets. We have drug addicted people, and we have governments giving away free drugs. Mm-hmm. It just doesn't make any sense. Mm-hmm. You know, and so it's a long journey of sadness to see people. And for me, being among those people as one of them, I learned like there's got to be a better life. You know, living on the street wasn't anything to be happy about. It just happened in my life, mm-hmm. you know, I don't know.
Well, I just wanted to tell you that I am very proud of you.
Thank you.
And, you know, before anything else, let's just tell me what has inspired you to become who you are now.
For me, it was losing my dignity and my self-worth over the years, and then I just I strive. I'd never want to go back there again. I never want to be homeless. I never want to have to eat out of garbage cans again. It's degrading. Degrading.
Let's share a little bit of the story that you had, an experience that you had.
So for myself, I spent a period of time on the streets in Vancouver, and I lived in Stanley Park for a little bit in a tent and hiked in and out of the bush every day to go look for food. And food wasn't an abundant thing back to 15 years ago. To find a meal, you actually had to hike from one end of the city to the other. And I remember going and getting just a sandwich and then having to hike all the way back into the bush again, and going to bed hungry. And when you're hungry and you're living outside, there's really not much spirit to get up and do anything during the day. People don't want to associate with people that are homeless. And when I was out there, I think the biggest thing for me was when I was out there, everybody's a brother or a sister, or a mom or a dad or somebody, right? That, they didn't ask to be out there homeless. They didn't ask to be drug addicted. I know for myself, I definitely didn't wake up and go, I want to be a drug addicted homeless person.
What happened?
For me, I had a period of time where I went through some really bad stuff. I was stabbed 5 times for a little piece of cocaine, and ended up with a hell of a war wound. I had 67 stitches in my arm.
Oh, no.
And being in the process of going from a hotel room to on the street with stitches in your arm, and it was just horrible. But for me, it
took a long time.
It's a long, hard road. And for me, I guess it was finally the point where I woke up, I don't know, it's 2, 3, 4 in the morning. It was pouring rain, and I was sleeping in a doorway with no shoes, no socks, in a t-shirt and soaking wet jeans. And I just looked around and I said, I can't do this anymore. This isn't.
No one's there to help you.
Nobody was there to help you. You'd go to the government offices, and you became a number. And you weren't a person. You were a number.
Yeah.
And once you became a number, it was easy just to file you through the system.
We have to understand every person matters.
Every person matters.
Doesn't matter of their education, of their place, of their wealth.
One of the other things for me is while I was out on the street, and I met a lot of people. I met people that were professionals, and I met professionals that were in law enforcement and emergency services that were actually out using cocaine at night and then going to work and doing their jobs, right? And it was a real eye-opener to it's not just people are drug addicts. Could be your neighbor, could be your mom, could be your dad. It doesn't matter. Anybody, right?
You talked about professional people. Are they mostly homeless people that you experienced? Were they addicted people too?
These were just working people using drugs, right? Professional people that I would have never expected in my life. But, there's street code. You don't tell people that, right?
Of course not. Yes, yeah. How do you feel to go from being homeless to now helping others in need within your community?
Anyone that's been homeless and worked their way through to coming back and living, for me, I've been in 2 different places now. I was in a place downtown where straight from the homelessness through the Salvation Army, and then into an SRO where I had a roof over my head. It was very small. It was secluded. I had my own bathroom and my own little kitchen, which was great from going from the street. But my neighbors were all drug addicts. And trying to get clean while people are using drugs around you, it doesn't work. Now I've been out in Coquitlam, away from the downtown core, away from the drug addicts down there for the better part of 6 years. And my life has changed. I'm into nature. I don't think about drugs. I don't think about
very healthy,
drugs.
knock on the wood.
I'm much healthier.
Yes.
And one of the big reasons I'm healthier is because of the fact that I am involved with the Immigrant Link Society as a volunteer. And because I'm disabled, I'm also qualified for the groceries. And without those groceries, I wouldn't be thinking clearly. I mean, like, I eat good now. And as I've said to Igor, it's really sad in my life that I had to become disabled and poor to eat like a rich person.
Aww.
You know, because when you're low income and depending on my provincial disability check, it's almost gone the same day I get it. I pay a couple of bills, and really, how much can you really get for $1,300 a month? It's embarrassing. It's poverty.
Yeah.
You know, the government treats the disabled in poverty like we're nobody. We're just a number, right? Mm-hmm. And it really shouldn't be like that.
Yeah, I understand. Now tell me, how did you get involved with ICLs?
How I got involved, I was picking up groceries. I was picking up groceries in my building, and I asked, could I volunteer? And I was lucky, and I started sorting and doing the boxes, and I've gone from there. I've been doing it now 4 years, and now I'm the one that's telling the others what boxes to do, and so I've moved right up the ladder a little bit. But yeah, it's such a good program.
Why do you think Igor thinks that you're a hero?
I don't look at myself as a hero. I've had a lot of people say you went from zero to hero. Really tough. I know it's tough, but as I said, I am very proud of you and very proud that you're sitting here and sharing your story with our audience. It is an eye-opening for audiences. It's taken me to a point where I'm not embarrassed about it anymore.
Good.
What happened to me shouldn't happen to people. Should never happen to people in Canada, ever. It shouldn't happen to people anywhere in the world. You know, you should never be hurt at work and then go through a system of abuse and being tormented and abused to the point where you lose everything around you, you lose your dignity, you know. I turned to drugs because I went from opioid painkillers that were overprescribed by a doctor. Mm-hmm. And let me tell you, they were really overprescribed. They were pushing drugs on people, guaranteed by the government that it was a safe drug. And let me tell you, the government is responsible because on an opioid painkiller, it's a triple script prescription, which means the patient gets one script, the pharmacy gets one script, and the government gets one script. So they knew they were overprescribing people. Mm-hmm. And I went from there to crack cocaine, which was a drug of choice, street drug. And once you hit there, I mean, my life was spiraling anyways, but I went to street drugs because I had nothing else. I had no place to live. I had no meals. Nobody was there to help support me. Mm-hmm. And you know, you get high to try hiding your fears and hiding your pain.
Yeah.
You know.
But look at you right now. You're a very strong person.
I am very, very fortunate that I am where I am right now.
Based on your experience, what do you have to offer to our audiences, and what is your advice?
Never give up. There's help out there. You just need to reach out and find it. And when somebody says no, go to the next person and go to the next person. Never give up. Never give up.
There's always someone to help, right?
Yeah. And my personal opinion, stay away from drugs because they don't help you. They just dig you into a hole that is so much harder to get out of. You know, I'm very fortunate I'm clean today.
Yes.
Yeah.
Steve, Let's talk about your involvement with ILCS.
Oh my God, I love this place.
How does that thing changed you?
Let me tell you. For me, because of the fact that I lack people in my lives, like because I don't work and I'm disabled, I don't have that work friendship with people. I don't have that outside group where people can go out on evenings. I don't really have a lot of friends, So for me on Thursday, every second Thursday morning when I get to do the grocery program, it's like, whoa, people, I get to do something, right? So I've got a good group of volunteers that are with me. I won't say I'm the boss. I'm not a boss. I'm not a leader. I'm just one of the people.
All of you guys working together.
We all work together, but we came to, because we have our little meeting when people come in, and we came to the point that there has to be one person that's the leader, and they kind of said, you know what, Steve, you're outspoken, you deal with it. And I'm very happy doing it. I treat the volunteers with respect, and I treat my clients with respect because I was a client and I am a client. So,
and hey, that changes your life.
It changes everything. For me, I would never be able to eat the way I am living on a disability. Nobody can do it. And this program, let me tell you, if there's people out there that want to help, this program is beneficial to people. I will 100% concur this is a good program. And to go from food wastage, going back to be back out on the streets and not eating, and then seeing how much food was actually wasted in the grocery stores. And this is where I came in, going back many years ago. When I was with the 127 Society, after I came out of the Salvation Army, I lived with the 127 Society in the 127 housing. And we started a program there. I had, as I lived there, one of the workers, she had come from the Salvation Army, so she saw a lot of the devastation with people too. And we started the food program, the rescue food program. And I remember going to IGA, and IGA at the time didn't want to give us food because of the fact of liability. And we advocated, and I moved away from the advocating part of it and just went my own way for a few years, and then came back into volunteering for it. But being that a few years back, the government regulated that the grocery stores were no longer liable for damages once that food was donated. It opened up the doors. I mean, like, the food is no longer being wasted, it's being donated, and which is so fantastic. Food is life. You cannot live life without eating. And people that say, oh, well, you can just have this and you can have that. You need a balanced meal to make your brain work. And feeding people healthy, you're going to cut back on mental illness. You're going to cut back on drug addiction. You'll cut back on homelessness because people will want to get up and go to work. People that aren't eating properly aren't functioning in society properly. And I know that for a fact because I was one of those people. When you're not eating, you're not thinking. When you're not thinking, you can't work in society.
Before the interview, we were talking, and you were telling me about your hobby and how you love cooking.
Oh my God,
Tell me about that.
So I'm kind of fortunate because I'll go back many years. When I got out of the military, I had met a friend of mine, and we became very good friends over the years, still friends with me. But he was a cook, and we ended up getting a place together. And he went to school to be a chef, and he brought home a book called Encyclopedia Cooking. And I've probably cooked everything in that book at least once. Because my passion is cooking. I love eating, and I love experimenting.
Don't forget to send us pictures. We want to see those.
I have some pictures. I'm in the process now, and the Immigrant Link Society discussed with me that they would help me get on with it. But I'm in the midst of doing a cookbook from rescued food. And this is where the pictures I'm going to send you is all free meals that I've done.
Actually, that was my last question, that what is your personal mission? So that's one of your missions.
Well, when you can eat for next to nothing, and you can eat gourmet meals, like for me, I've had so many people tell me, that's restaurant quality food. That's restaurant quality food. Where'd you get that from? It's like, well, I made it at home, and the presentation is so nice, and you know, you've done such a nice thing. Now I want to send that out, that this food would have been food that was in the garbage. And now my better half, she tells me, we don't need to go out for dinner. She says, you're cooking again.
Oh.
You know, which is really cool. You know, so one of my things is I don't like food wastage. So I'll go back to Thursday when I did my donation program. We got on donation a big box of red plums. Now, you can only put so many plums in each basket. I mean, how many plums can people eat? And when you got a big box of plums, what do you do with it? So for myself, I took probably 30, 35 big plums, and I spent the better part of Saturday cooking them down. And I had jalapenos in my freezer from another prior donation, and I made jalapeno plum sauce.
Oh, so that must be delicious.
It's very good, very good. I've actually tried some on the barbecue now, and it's good. So yeah, I don't waste anything.
You gotta invite me next time.
I'll bring you some. I'll send you some. So I had as we don't do it, but on blackberries, we did. My wife and I went blackberry picking this year, and I did records amount. I ended up with like 35 pounds of blackberries.
Oh wow!
But I did blackberry tarts and gave them away, and then blackberry pies, I gave those away. Blackberry jam, gave it away. But one of the things that I didn't do too much of, and I wished I had of, is I did blackberry habanero ghost pepper glaze.
We should do a cooking show together.
A cooking show there. That would be awesome. But yeah, so my passion overall is cooking.
I want to ask you something.
Yes, ma'am.
If you have to say something to our audiences that will have impacted your life, what would it be?
Wow, that's a really, really hard question, because I've had, over the last 15 years, I've had some really big impacts on my life. You know, one of the main was after or during my journey, I met somebody, and now we've been together the better part of 16 years, and that's my inspiration.
Yeah. Someone who has been with you the whole time. For 16 years.
If you've ever experienced loneliness, and being out on the street is lonely, having somebody in your life, just to be there is my inspiration, really.
Oh. Well, I don't know how to thank you, Steve, and it was a very emotional interview, I understand, and I really do want to thank Igor for this opportunity. As they said, food is life, don't waste life. I wanted to take this opportunity to thank the Immigrant Link Center Society for giving us this opportunity to do an interview with Director Igor and Steve.
Thank you for having me.
If you have any comments or thoughts, email us at the Skyrise Media Society @gmail.com. And thank you for watching. My name is Sherry Soltani from Skyrise Media.